Hi friends, how are you today? Today we are learning about texture. Texture is one of my favorite things to teach about because I think you guys are really good at understanding texture and learning about texture, okay? So to begin, I'm going to start with my PowerPoint. We're going to just get to the point today so that I can give you guys time to draw and do your seesaw assignments at the end, okay? So to begin, let's start with that. All right, so texture. I really hope you guys can see the cool GIF I put in the background of the slime, because slime is one of the coolest textures that I think most of you guys know about. So texture is how something feels. So when you actually touch it, like my coffee cup, smooth, or how it looks like it feels, because you can't see it and touch it in real life, but you can look at it and think, oh, that looks hairy, right? So it's how something feels or how it looks like it feels. So how does texture make us feel? I think it's really important in art to talk about things and how they make us feel, because one, that connects with our emotions, and two, it connects with the audience that you're trying to reach if you are an artist. So let's talk about our emotions and how touch can make us feel different ways. Look at the examples below and tell me how it makes you feel if you were to touch it. So let's look at this first picture together. This one right here. So I see a cute little kitten and it's sleeping and it's on the super fuzzy blanket. I think if I were to touch this, it would make me feel good and relaxed. What do you guys think? What if I were walking in the grass or I was just like sitting on the grass, put my hand behind me, and I feel this? How do you think that would make me feel? Or if the snake bit me, what would that feel like? That would hurt, right? Because snakes have very sharp fangs that could hurt you. And then this third picture, these look spiky. So if I were to touch this, how do you think that would make me feel? Probably not great. Here's some other ones. Can you guess some of them? I'll give you a second. Can you tell me? Can you guess them? Good job. This one I think looks rough. Like if I were to touch that, I wouldn't like how that felt on my hands. What if my hands are dirty? I don't like it when my hands get all dirty and gross. But some people might like it. Like if you like using clay, some ceramic artists like how that feels on their hands, just not me. This one feels wet, right? You could tell it's wet because he's dripping. You see the water droplets. And this shiny little beetle, just like the artist we learned about last week, Christopher Marley, it looks pretty smooth. So let's talk about implied texture. Implied texture is just texture and what it looks like, but when you draw it or when you paint it, because you can't actually feel the fish in a drawing, right? Because it's a drawing, but it can look realistic by adding texture and details. So look at the examples I have right here. I have a basic fish, just lines. Okay, yeah, it looks a little bit scaly, but then look at the fish underneath it. Which one looks more realistic? Probably the one on the bottom, right? So the one on the bottom has texture, and that's what makes it real. So to become a great artist, one of the skills you can have in your pocket is to draw realistic. So now we're just going to go over a couple different types of texture. Let's start with bumpy. So sometimes you see these grates outside, like on the sidewalk, they're bumpy, or some rocks. That's more of a rough bumpy. Speaking of rough, look at this. If I were to touch that, that would feel rough. Smooth. So here's rocks again, but look at them. They're smooth. They're shiny. That's how you can tell something is smooth, by how shiny it is. Wet, just like that picture of that guy. Very good, just wet. How about soft? Look at that. Look at this right here. That looks so soft and delicate. and light. So those are some other adjectives. And look at the little kitty paws. Those look so soft. And the flower petal. Cold. So something can look cold just by what we know of what the seasons look like. Like, I'm pretty sure this picture, it's not 100 degrees there, right? You could tell it's cold. And a lot of the times the powdery texture makes it look cold. Or we have hot. You know that if there are flames like this, it's not negative 20 degrees. How about velvety? I think this one's a really cool one because it's soft, but it's a little bit shorter, right? So we have the velvety texture. So here is the slimy texture. We know that snails leave a trail of slime behind them, and that's how they get around, right? And then we have our actual slime, and you can tell it's slime, one, because it's shiny and wet looking, and two, because it's not wet like water, it's more like a sticky. Then we have furry. So all different animals have different types of fur. Some are more soft, some are more rough, some are spiky, but they still have fur. And then we have furry like a stuffed animal. So there's different kinds. So our lesson for today, we are going to be doing a little bit of drawing of different types of leaves, okay? So we're gonna draw a different texture on each leaf. We're gonna get a little creative, and we are going to make a furry leaf, a wet leaf, a bumpy leaf, a spiky leaf. We're gonna do a whole bunch of stuff like that, okay? So why don't you go get your paper and pencil and meet me back in just 1 minute, and we will get started. All right, so I'm going to share my screen now. So you should be able to see my hand, okay? All right, so my first leaf I am going to draw is just a very simple leaf. So when I draw a leaf, there's a couple different shapes you can draw. I like to do a long leaf. Here is my first leaf. Now, for this leaf, I'm going to give it a hairy texture. So when I draw a hairy texture, you just draw lines very lightly all around. Make them all go in different directions so it looks more realistic. And you probably draw like 1,000 little lines. So we'll call this one more of a fuzzy leaf. It also kind of looks pokey, so I'm going to make a couple softer lines like this, curved a little bit. Just like that. So there's my hairy leaf. Now my next leaf, I'm going to do a different shape. So I'm going to do a 3-part leaf. And you know, I chose leaves today because when I went outside this morning, I saw so many beautiful fall leaves and they all had a different texture. And I really just was inspired by that. So for this leaf, let's make it look wet. So I'm just adding my veins of my leaf. And then I'm going to make it look like it's dripping. So it looks wet. Maybe it just rained outside. Could you draw a wet leaf? And you could even add color, right? So when I add color, it helps to describe the texture that I'm going for. Now, we know water is clear, right? Not blue, but sometimes it looks blue, but I think it helps imply that it's wet when you color it blue like this. And then the leaf could be brown. Like that. Okay. Maybe my next leaf, I'm going to draw a spiky leaf. So I'm going to draw, this is a different type of leaf. So it has little leaves coming off the sides. Because there are thousands of different types of leaves, if not millions. So we're going to make this one a spiky leaf. And when I make something spiky, you make a little triangle like that. But curved bottom, and make sure it goes off the side. How would it feel if you touched it? Maybe this one has tiny little spikes. Just like that. Okay, so you could keep making your spiky one, and then maybe I'll do a super smooth leaf right here. Maybe for this leaf, I'll make it kind of a rounded leaf. And maybe I'll make it look smooth by coloring it, but leaving a part white so that it looks shiny. See how I left that part white to make it look a little bit shiny? All right, so there's a couple different textures, and I would love it if you guys could make some more. Okay, so when you go to draw on Seesaw today, you can draw in the little boxes different types of texture. And it doesn't have to be a leaf. You could just draw something that has that texture, okay? Then what I want you to do is the second page, I want you to draw some leaves with texture. Now, you could draw them in person and upload a picture and send it to me, or you could do it on Seesaw, okay? So that is your homework for Seesaw. It should take you a while. It should not be a scribble. I've been seeing a lot of scribbles or not turning in the correct assignment, and I really want you guys to get your full grades because I know you love art, and I know it's hard to do online, but I think you guys are doing a great job, so keep it up, okay? Make sure you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Now, I would love to see these leaves. I would love for you to, if you're allowed to, go outside and find some leaves and try to draw the leaves that you see outside and in person because they're so beautiful right now and their colors are gorgeous. You get red and orange and brown. Beautiful, beautiful leaves, okay? Now, I will see you guys later. I hope you guys have a great day. Don't forget to do your homework, and I will see you later, okay? Bye, everyone.